doesn't really need too much of an introduction. I can make fun of his choices in hockey teams. I can make comments about baseball teams, but as a Chicagoan, I can't really make fun of it too much because the good old city of Toronto is kicking butt these days, and he is wrestling legend, AEW superstar. Do we call you AEW superstar, or is it? Do you like it AEW rated R superstar? How does that go with you, Adam Copeland?
AEW wrestler. I don't know. That's what we are. It's not a bad word in our company.
No. We'll start there. And first of all, your background. We were talking about my background. I'd rather be where you're at, where I can just turn my head and I have a bunch of forest and trees and leaves and no one to bother me.
Yeah, as opposed to an abysmal baseball team's pennant. Yeah. Or hat. But hey, you went there first. You went there on the end.
Hey, I like it. Someone else swing it. Now, what hat do you have on? You make fun of fun of my hat. What kind of hat you got on?
I got a We the North t-shirt on, Raptors, but I will say at least we've won an NBA championship in the time that you have. So, there's that. Well, hey, get another Jordan. You should be okay.
I will go with this. We won more NBA championships.
That's true.
Our guy didn't leave after one season.
That is also true. He tried to be a baseball player for said team, but you know how that worked out. So,
but
we both got Jordan skeletons, man.
Skeletons is definitely right, my friend. And when I got sent an email about Pure Plank, I knew nothing about this. And once I started doing my research, I'm reading, and I'm like, I need this. And I was telling Lee beforehand, my back's been killing me for 2 days, and all I did in the last 2 days was cut grass and pull weeds.
Yeah.
So, reading about how you were having a hard time going up you're having a hard time going up the stairs, short of breath. Why Pure Plank? What was it about this where you wanted to be like, you know what? I need this and I need it now.
Well, Jay and I invented it. We drew it. We came up with the concept and everything, but it stemmed from, just like you said, you're pulling weeds, right? You're bent over, all of those things. I was pressure washing, doing the house. It knocked my back out for like a week. I went, that's ridiculous. I know I was half bent over for, 8 hours, but still, come on. I'm supposed to be an athlete. So, now I was retired at this point and all of those things. So I wasn't doing the physicality that I would normally do. And I realized I need to get going again. And for me, planking had always been a vehicle to starting, just kind of, that doesn't seem, too demoralizing. It doesn't feel, too insurmountable. You know what I mean? It feels like a good place to start. And I always enjoyed it too. And I always saw results from it. That was the key. And I thought, okay, well, if my lower back's bothering me, that means my core's not strong enough. So I gotta, let's do some planks, because I know it's a great core strengthening exercise. It essentially, once you're planking, it engages everything from your neck down to your toes. So I thought, right, I'll start with planking. Started there, started feeling pretty good. Abs started coming back. Then I went down to Jay's, and he was like, what are you doing, man? I was like, I've just been planking, which he thought was ridiculous. And then he tried it. Within 20 seconds, he's shaking, and he went, oh, yeah. Then he had the idea. I'll give him the credit. He was like, there's got to be something for this, some type of, platform or something to be able to use it that would be easier on elbows, on wrists, on shoulders, we're both 50, right? So then we kind of did some research and saw that there really wasn't anything. We thought, well, maybe we could fill that pocket. And then I just picked up a piece of paper and a Sharpie, and we started drawing ideas. And he can't draw. He draws like a kindergartner. So
I do too. It's okay. Doesn't matter how old you are.
To me. But so we just started spitballing ideas and just throwing it to the wall and see what would stick. And we came up with, by the time it was all said and done, the Pure Plank. and we had to, make some changes and size wise and things like that. But it was really fun to kind of just create something from scratch essentially. And then by the time we got the first product in our hands, it was, I don't know, it felt really good. It felt like we'd accomplished something that wasn't just, jumping around in tights or wasn't pretending to be a god of war or something. It's like this might actually help some people. For me, the big thing with planking, with the pure plank, is the time commitment. It's very minimal. Like if you can take 5 minutes out of your day, it's going to help you. And really, that's all you need, because any more than that, you're going to start to really feel it. So, because I've had some of the guys that have on the roster that have gotten it, and they're like, okay, like I'm shaking at a minute. I'm like, yeah, that's normal. It's absolutely normal. And that's okay. Build up. And, but for me, doing a round, I do rounds on it. And, I love getting pictures on social media of boards being just drenched in sweat. I'm like, right, because it does not take much. You get on that thing, like I said, after a minute, you're going to start sweating.
At 43, I know you and Beth got kids as well, and I got two boys, yeah. And you definitely need that.
Something that isn't too time consuming, right? Because like, oh, we got dance class, and oh, Larry's got acting class. Okay, but I can always manage 5 minutes out of my day. It's like, I don't know, it's like Duolingo. If you want to learn another language, just take 5 minutes. It's okay. Do it at the end of the night, whatever it is. With pure plank, you truly can do it. And wake up first thing in the morning, brush teeth, bam, plank. I don't know. It's that easy.
Now
it's hard, but it's that easy.
Do you feel like it helped Jay? We're talking to you, so I'll ask you. I know I'm going to talk to Jay sometime soon.
I'm sorry.
Do you feel like it helped with your comeback?
Absolutely. Because my core was the first thing I needed to strengthen up. And once you got a strong core, then everything else is going to follow suit. That means your back isn't going to give out when you decide to do squats, because your core is strong. To me, it's in looking at my workout, my workouts and my training, I always, what's the most simple thing? What's the building block? I got to have a strong core. Otherwise, I can't train everything that I need to properly, accordingly, weight wise, anything like that. So I start my workouts with stretching, and then I plank. I finish the rest of my core exercises, then I work out. And for me, doing it pre-workout just gets everything flowing, gets the blood moving, gets the sweat going. And that for me was the first step toward getting back out of moving out of my dad bod phase.
Oh, that dad bod is so real. It is. God, I'm like,
they say it's sexy. I don't see it personally. No, I just see it let go.
Wife and I laugh. I'm like, you're lying. Thanks for thanks for the encouragement. Because
I appreciate it.
My 8-year-old, I had told him when you came into AEW, and I'm telling him about you, and he's seeing you, and he's like, man. And when we were watching Double or Nothing, he's like, Dad, you don't have that. And he's like, you're lucky to get a 1-pack. And I'm like, thanks, man. He's like, you got to be like Adam Copeland. And I'm like,
I
have like nothing to say.
Well, it's truly like, it's as simple as just do it. And even if you start at 30 seconds and then up it to a minute and then up it to, it's okay. Like I was talking to Dustin, who's got really beat up shoulders, right? He's been wrestling for 35, 36 years, stands to reason, but he can plank. And in turn will help the lower back, because he's a dude who's 6'6", so the taller you are, it seems the harder it is on your back. And I don't know. It's become such a part of my routine. And if we hadn't created pure plank, I'd still be planking. I'd just be, cursing my elbows. But now I don't have to do that.
That is the most important thing. You're not cursing at any of your body parts. And
MU. Yeah.
I was talking with my son this morning, and he knew I was interviewing you for a couple of days, and he's been peppering me with things. He's like, Dad, I got questions. I'm like, all right. And I'm like, give me today, I'm like, give me your best one. We're walking to school. I'm like, you have to give me one. I'll make sure I ask it.
All right.
And his question is, why did you jump off the top of the cage with Double or Nothing? That I tried to explain this thing because we watched it live together.
Yeah.
Say nothing. He didn't know what was going on. I talked to some people in AEW like a day or two after the fact. They told me what happened. I showed him your video that you put on social media, but he's like, Dad, why? And I'm like, I don't know. You haven't done any interviews. We are the first ones here at Sports Illustrated. So I will ask, for my 8-year-old Adam Copeland, why did you jump off the topic?
Because it was there. No, it's I mean, if you've watched my career, it's not out of character, you know.
17, and he still didn't understand.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where every once in a while during my career, I felt like it was time to just do something a little stupid. and for whatever reason, my brain has not gotten the memo that my body got, that I'm 50 years old. So yeah, man, I was just feeling great, like having a lot of matches, having different types of matches, really starting to feel like I was getting into a groove because I was doing it more often. It's hard to feel like you're in that groove, in that pocket, when it's like once every 3 months, once every 4 months, or anything like that. I was wrestling much more often, which I think it gave me a false sense of security in that, yeah, I got that, no problem. I also didn't realize how much higher AEW cages are until I got up there and I went, oh, this is interesting. Here we go. And that was
all
really
or nothing
of it, you know, and I landed the way I was planning on landing. I just figured, yeah, I'll land and then I'll roll backwards, which is what I did. And I still didn't fully, the extent of what had happened. I figured maybe a bone bruise or something. And I got up and ran, and I heard and felt a click. And I went, interesting. Okay. But I thought, okay, I can get through this. It's no big deal. And then we finished it off. By the time I got to the back and I was, starting to go to the trainer's room, I was like, this might be a little more than what I was thinking. So really, there's no grand reasoning for it whatsoever. But the fact I just got a cement head sometimes.
I'll make sure I show him the beginning part of this interview, and then we'll have a response for sure. And the one thing I was thinking about, because I rewatched the match again last night, and like you said, you heard, like, you felt like something crack and like a pop crack, and is your mind at all audible? Like, something isn't right here. Maybe we should do something else. And
no,
for the
no. Once I realized I could run and move, I was like, yeah, this will be fine.
Okay. You ran pretty good there. You ran faster than I would at 40.
It didn't feel quite as fast as I wanted it to, but yeah, and I knew what we had planned too, and I really, really, we had worked hard to make that moment with Gangrel happen, and
yeah,
man, I didn't want to just call an audible and throw that away. You know what I mean? It really felt like I can see this through. It's no big deal, and then, once I got to the ER that night, Darby and I walked in together. He's wearing his big faux fur coat with his face all smashed up with thumbtacks in his nose, and I'm limping in, and I just went, look at us,
That would have been a picture to see.
Memorial Day weekend. We're not going to be the strangest thing coming in, believe it or not.
Especially in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be the case. And how is the league? It's the $1 million question. You haven't provided really too much of an update since. All we've seen is a picture that's made the social media rounds in the last 15 hours or so. But how is the league feeling right now?
I mean, it feels really good. I got the surgery, I guess it was June 1st by the time I finally got the surgery done. So I guess yesterday was 3 months. I've never broken my leg before, so I didn't know what that entails or what that entailed. With my Achilles, it was a process, and this is not that, which is good, because the Achilles, man, I was working 8 hours a day on that thing. It became a full-time job, and got back in 6 months, but it was it was a lot of gritting of teeth. This isn't that. Um, More than anything, it's trying to get the power back and also the flexibility. You know, from kind of like bring your toes to your knee. That's kind of the last area that doesn't want to go yet because the plate goes all the way down to the ankle.
Yeah.
So you know, because it was a lower fracture, it was a lower tibia fracture, so that the plate butts up against that ankle bone, and I think that'll be kind of the what I need to get through in order to be able to get all of that power back. I don't know what a time frame is. I don't know any of that. I just know that, you know, now I'm able to walk. I got in the ring. I was able to move around a little bit, but I felt the deficiency still, so I
Yeah.
know it's still got some work to do to get it back to where I need to be.
But you stole my next question. Thanks a lot, Mr. Copeland. Man, gotta be just stealing everything. No,
I'll answer like 10 questions in one.
hey, I do the same thing. There is absolutely zero wrong with it. It's the best way to avoid the question. Sometimes I always feel like, in that picture on social media. The cool thing, of course, seeing you standing up, being with your buddies. But there was one thing that really stood out, and that a lot of people are picking up on it, was seeing Sting's son involved in that picture with you guys. And there had been, like, after Revolution, he got the itch a little bit. He got a lot of compliments during his little part at the beginning of the match. And we see Sting Jr., you feel like
I
he's
you know
following in the footsteps of his dad.
I don't know, but I think at Revolution there in Greensboro, he got a bit of the itch. You know, he felt what it is, and once you feel that, man, it's hard to walk away from that. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to go, wait, that you're not going to say, well, that wasn't cool. You're going to go, that was really cool and really fun, and you know, it's a great gig, right? So I think he felt that. Also, in terms of his physicality, I mean, he's 6'3", he's about 230 pounds. He's probably sitting about 8% body fat. Like he looks the part. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Very similar to his dad in how he conducts himself, which is a great thing. So I think now it's really up to him, and what does he want to put into it? Does he want to put in the work that it will take? Because you got to figure it. You might look at it and say, okay, an easier pathway into the business, but once he's in the business, there's going to be a big spotlight on him, and with that comes extra pressures, and your Sting's son, and trying to break out of that. So, but he's smart. He's smart, man, and I think if he wants to do it, he absolutely could do it.
I don't know how much you've been watching of AEW these days, and what do you make of what's going on right now? You had a great show at Wembley.
Yep.
You guys are coming here to Chicago, just starting on Friday with Collision, and then All Out on Saturday. What do you make of some of the key things going on right now in the company?
I just enjoy that it feels like we're getting more character-based stories. Like I look at the evolution of Hangman, and with this story with Swerve, how he's slowly but surely gone from being right to letting this thing turn him into this bitter, angry character. But like any good villain, there's a great reason for it. That I think is really compelling. So I've been loving watching that. And Bryan Danielson and what he brings to the table, and the emotion in that match with Swerve was just, so well done. And like anything, it's you're not gonna knock it out of the park 100% of the time. Nobody does,
Yeah.
But I love that our roster really tries their ass off to make that happen. And it's an exciting place to be because there's so much young talent, and you got your guys like me and Christian and your Jerichos and your Samoa Joes sprinkled in there. You always need that in order to sometimes maybe guide a little bit. But man, it's fun to be around, and contagious, to the point where I find myself jumping off cages and realizing I got to set a better example and show them that you don't need to do that. So yeah, man, I've been enjoying the product. Sometimes it's hard for me when I'm out to watch the product, but it hasn't been this time, which is nice.
Yeah, don't you can't give them, you can't tell them, allow them to jump off top of the cage. Like Darby Allin one time want to jump from like the top of the like from a scaffold or something. We don't need any of that, Adam Copeland. We just
Funny
kind of
you
need to.
mentioned Darby though, because he one time he did something. I was like, dude, you gotta be careful. He goes, "You're gonna tell me back in your day? Because back in your day, you were jumping into Flaming Tables face first." I was like, good point.
That is very, very true. And I know we're short on time, Adam. This has been fantastic. How can plugs for Pure Plank? Where can fans go to get it?
Go pureplank.com. And we're on Instagram, we're on X, and all of those things that I rarely go on.
Yeah, your social media game not very strong.
There's a reason. It's a cesspool of negativity, isn't it? It's just
You
a
are
bunch of people
not.
who've never done anything in their lives and complain about people that do.
My wife tells me, she's like, "Why do you do this?" And I'm like, "Now, the last 6 months I've been better about just
Yeah.
clips from interviews, article links, and that's kind of
Yeah, I don't let
because you see nonsense.
yeah, and it's just it can take up negative space where I don't need that in my life. Like I said, I got kids, man. I can't be be dwelling.
Other things, I would rather be at a coaching football, soccer, or doing one of their other many activities instead of
Yeah,
just
yeah,
Joe Schmo wants
yeah.
to sit and talk smack. I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I had a bucket list. Zone and going to Sports Illustrated and going forward. And we had never chatted. You were one of the guys I definitely wanted to talk to. And this was definitely a bucket list thing for me. So Adam, thank you so much for the time. It means a lot. It is greatly appreciated. I'm getting Pure Plank. I'm
All right.
old, 43 with 2 children. They don't need me sitting on a heating pad for 5 days and laying on the couch. They need me out playing football and kicking the soccer ball around. So the time, looking forward to getting Pure Plank and I guess I'll solemnly a little bit root for the Maple Leafs.
I'll use like the energy in my little toe for the Blackhawks and cheer them on too. You're in the Western Conference, so it's okay. I can give you a little bit of a nudge.
I thought you would go with the big toe. God, we're an original 16 like the Maple Leafs.
Big toe goes to the Canucks. They're my Western Conference.
Maybe go with my fingernail or my toenail. Maybe, sure. Definitely, you got to go. I'll go big toe for the Maple Leafs.
Okay, I'll go eye tooth for the Blackhawks. There, it's important. You can't eat food without it.
You got your bottom teeth. That's what my son tells me. My youngest. Yeah, you got bottom teeth. Adam, thank you for the time, sir. Looking forward to seeing you back in the ring real soon. Thank you.
All right. See ya.